Hey guys, we're either going to verify or debunk the myth of sending in two different Livescan applications to BSIS, the Bureau of Security Investigative Services. It's been common knowledge that if you sit down in any of the firearm permit courses in the state of California for private security officers who want to have an exposed permit, that you should send in two different applications, two different Livescan applications if you want to get your guard card faster. Now, in this video, we're going to assume, number one, that you don't have a guard card, and number two, that you don't have a firearms permit. Obviously, if you don't have a guard card, you can't have a firearms permit. And by the way, guard card, I'm going to be using the term guard card, that's a fancy title for security officer or security guard registration in the state of California. This is what I did. I listened to all 2 hours and 27 minutes of the latest BSIS meeting, which was dated October 8th. I listened to everything that they had to say. And miraculously, I found some dialogue that addresses this issue. So, let me just clarify a little bit more. When you apply as a private security guard, you're going to fill out a Livescan application. And on the top, maybe the top right area, it's going to say security guard. Okay, you send that in, get fingerprinted. You get fingerprinted, and then the Livescan operator sends that to the state to see if you have a criminal history that is okay with BSIS. Okay. Now, secondly, if you complete a firearm permit course, you're going to complete a Livescan application that at the top right says security guard with firearm. Okay, if you have a guard card and then eventually you want to get a firearm permit, you have to get fingerprinted all over again, and you have to complete the security guard with firearm Livescan application. That's going to cost you roughly about $120 in fingerprint fees. Okay, so typically it's about $76 for regular security guard permit Livescan, depending on where you go. You want to tack on additional $30 on that fee for firearms. Eligibility. So this is what I learned from listening to the meeting. There's two background checks that have to be conducted. Number one is your basic criminal history. Your second is a firearms eligibility check. Now, I'm listening to a couple of the managers at BSIS. I'm listening to Chief Lynn Andres, who's the chief of BSIS, who was appointed, by the way, by Gavin Newsom. And the second one, I think her name was Jasmine. And then the third guy, I think it's Antoine. I'm not really sure, but I'll play the video. One guy says it doesn't matter if you send in both applications at once. The time limit is more or less the same. That's what I'm hearing from the dialogue. And then the chief, she's never heard of any delays if you apply for a firearm permit. She doesn't know. And then the third person, you could tell from the dialogue that she hints of knowing that there is a delay. But the thing is, she blames this delay on the Department of Justice. So she basically says, hey, well, if there's a delay, it's Department of Justice. It's not us. Even though we fall under the same government, the state of California, we're gonna blame Department of Justice. Okay, we're not gonna accept any responsibility. We're not gonna try to talk to a manager over there or a higher up, a leader, to try to solve some of these deficiencies. No, we're not gonna do that. See, it would make sense that once the criminal background check is clear, that you should get your guard card right away. Why should you wait until your firearm eligibility check clears? Okay, state of California says that there's two different checks, but why do you have to wait until the other clears? Why don't they just clear you with the first criminal history check? At least you can work as a guard before, as an unarmed guard before you get your arm permit, because that's reasonable. You gotta wait. You should wait a little bit, or you should be expected to wait a little bit for your firearm permit eligibility to come in. Okay, but a lot of private security officers, they don't get to find work because they're still waiting for the firearms portion. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's fair that BSIS isn't taking that additional step to get a hold of Department of Justice and tell them to release the criminal clearance, okay? And then for the firearm portion, that will come later, but at least clear the first tier of the criminal record so that this person can work as a private security guard. But no, they don't do that. Instead of just hearing from me, I want you guys to hear from the horse's mouth.
So we've had some students come in. Of course, they've been told by people who've been doing this for a long time. Oh, when you go to do your Livescan and you want your guard card and your firearms to do them all at once, and we're noticing now that huge backlog because of that. So that's when the BSIS came back here some months ago and said, make sure you tell everybody to do a Livescan for your guard card and then do a Livescan separately for the firearms permit.
That I haven't heard that before. But you know what? I'm gonna have
Lynn, this is Sam. I can kind of.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I don't think we've ever seen a direct correlation between, because when you fingerprint, the reason they do like a guard with the firearm is because you're requesting 2 different background checks. So you have a separate one through DOJ, which is going to send back rap sheets, and then there's a separate one where it looks at your firearms eligibility. So I haven't seen any areas where doing the live scans together causes additional delays, because DOJ, they'll update us. So DOJ, when we log into the portal, it'll tell us if there's a delay or anything like that. So I haven't seen any of those issues. I don't know if any of the other managers want to weigh in.
Yeah, this is Jasmine. I would like to just comment on some of the things I've seen with Department of Justice clearances. Unfortunately, when we go to the DOJ website, it will show that fingerprint responses have been completed. However, they are waiting for a firearm clearance before they will send it to us. We have no control over what causes this. It's a DOJ process sometimes. So occasionally people have gone and live scanned separately for a guard only and have been able to get their fingerprint responses back for their guard and get issued right away. And then we'll still wait for the firearm clearance. This is not something that we promote or suggest. It's just something that sometimes if there's a holdup at DOJ.
Yes, I know. I just, matter of fact, ran into that, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. Same thing, that they would not kick out the clearance for the guard card until the firearms came back, even though they're 2 separate licenses.
I'm sorry, you said you have 2 separate licenses?
Well, the guard card's a separate license than the firearms permit. Even though it's the same background check, DOJ said, no, we will not even kick back the guard card information until the other one was completed.
If that is what DOJ told you, then we have no control over what they do. But it is the same, or it is 2 different license types. However, DOJ is in control of all of getting the background for both of them. So how they determine how they send it to us, we have no control over.
Okay.
You guys, does it sound like they're confused? Come on. I don't think they all can agree to a statement. Now, on another side, in their defense, you guys, public comment, when somebody gives a public comment, typically if you're a PIO, public information officer, you might not have that information ready. So some of the stuff that you give the public is on the fly. So maybe I see that. That's why maybe they're not all consistent. Again, if you ever done any PIO work and somebody just asks you a random question, you might not be prepared. But instead of giving an answer that you're not sure of, at least say, I don't know, but I'll find out and I'll get back to you. That's customer service, right? That's great customer service. But instead, they're all in disagreement. They have different ideas on the background check. You heard from the horse's mouth. And finally, you guys, it's election year. Again, I don't like to get political, and I know I hurt some people's feelings in the other video. The reason why I get political sometimes, you guys, is because these people have an effect. The people that you vote in has an effect on BSIS, and then that trickles down to us. Okay, Chief Lynn is an appointee from Gavin Newsom, and she's an appointee. I did like how she brought in all the managers in at once and was able to get a diversity of answers for the public. But some of the things, I won't go into detail in this video, I don't agree with, and she is just trying to please the person that appointed her. We have Assemblyman Lowe and then Assemblyman Chow. They're up for re-election. They're in the San Francisco Bay Area. You guys, don't vote for these numbskulls. You guys, again, some people they were insulted by what I said in the last video. But this is the thing, is nobody can argue in their defense of them existing as assemblymen. What I mean by that is they don't do anything positive for BSIS. Okay, the private investigator fees have went up, private patrol operator fees went up, all the fees are going up. These are the people that you elect into office. This needs to stop, and it stops at the ballot box. I don't care who you vote for, but pick somebody that's going to be advantageous to you and to your business. Okay, if you defend any of these people that I mentioned, Newsom, Lowe, and Chu, tell me what positive things have they done for you as a private security officer or maybe private investigator. What positive things have they done? And I'm sure I will hear crickets. Nobody does a video that shows the positive things that they do. They do things backdoor. They do things when the public isn't really looking. They do things to help them get voted into office. Okay, they pass all this legislation that's against your business. You guys, I have colleagues out there that vote for these idiots. And the bills that they pass, again, they're not given to the general public to vote on, but they're just passed and sent over to Gavin Newsom's office, and he just signs away. Doesn't even know what effect it has on the private security industry. People just keep voting them in to office. Hey guys, hope you liked this video. Please like. If you have any comments, please comment below in the comment section. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section so that other people get an answer. I still owe, I think it's SoCal Lawrence, I still owe him a video on concealed weapon permits and the best way how to get one, how to